G'day, and welcome to today's bottom-up boats video demonstration where we show you how to prevent frayed ends by turning this into this. Step 1 in the process, you want to pull out the core and cut off enough of it to create the loop in the end of your rope and have around 5 centimeters of additional length to help us complete the whipping parts of the process. Step 2, you want to normalize the line, pulling the core back up inside. And then that basically allows you to loop the outer cover over. You can see where the core on the inside is. For step 3, you then want to take your splicing pick and create a hole just where the cover loop back over is. You then follow by getting your D-Splicer and pushing it back up to the point where the cover and the core meet. Pushing the end of the D-Splicer out to prepare to create the loop. Before we pull the cover back in on itself, we want to taper the end to make it easier to pull back through. You want to cut off 7 or 8 threads, working your way down the line to create the taper. With the taper complete, you slot the top end of the outer core into the D-Splicer and then start to pull it back through on itself. Depending on the construction of your rope, pulling the cover back on itself can be a little bit difficult. A top tip, if you're struggling with this, is to take a hammer or a flat object and just tap down on the area where the cover's coming back through. This will make it easier to slide the core back out where you originally inserted it with the D-Splicer. The next step in the process is to bury the end of the core. This is a 2-step process. Step 1, trim off the tail where it popped out. You then just want to put your finger into the loop and then just work it slightly back up so that the core is buried back up and not protruding anymore. The next step is optional, but we like to finish it off with whipping the cover, which is buried in place, even though it'll hold 9 times out of 10 without it. You want to start by taking your needle and forcing it through on itself 3 or 4 times across the full width of the rope. This locks the end of the whipping in place without the need for a knot. If you're looking to give this a go yourself and you don't have the tools of the trade, please check out the affiliate links in the description to get the gear so that you can finish your rope like a pro. Using our affiliate links really helps support small channels, giving us the resources to create more great content. Once you've completed the 3 or 4 locking crossovers, it is then just a simple matter of taking your line and wrapping it tightly around the rope, moving away from the tail and burying the initial end of the whipping twine. Once you've created your 10 or so loops, you then want to once again pin it in place by pushing the needle through the rope and then working up to the other end and doing the same thing. You want to do this step 2 or 3 times to hold it in place. It has the added advantage of giving extra hold as it goes through the cover, which is inserted up the inside. After completing this 2 or 3 loops, the final step in the process is to bury the tail to avoid having to tie a knot. You do this by pushing the whipping twine through at around about a 45-degree angle, pulling it out a centimetre or so up the rope. You then go back in the same hole, once again going across the complete set of the rope at a 45-degree angle. If you do this step 2 or 3 times, the cross-threading of the rope through the core ensures that you can finish off the whip without tying a knot. Snip off the tail, and there you have it. A completed loop locked in place by putting the cover up on the core and finishing it off with a nice whipped end. Over and above stopping the tail of your rope from fraying, this has the added advantage of creating a nice loop, which allows halyards to be easily moused back through any pulley or block, as the loop gives you a nice anchor point to attach your smaller mouse line. Thanks for stopping by and watching today's video demonstration on whipping in looped ends to your halyards. If you enjoyed today's video and made it this far, please leave us a like and don't forget to check out the product links in the description below.